Every Saturday, Eleanor visits the same grave with white lilies and a heart full of quiet sorrow. But one chilly morning, a stranger appears, bringing more than just condolences. Who is this woman, and why does she know so much about Eleanor's husband? Before we start the story, don't forget to click subscribe and comment below which city you're watching from. Eleanor's world had shrunk to the size of a single headstone. Every Saturday, rain or shine, she would drive the familiar winding road to Willow Creek Cemetery, a bouquet of Michael's favorite white lilies clutched in her hand. 1 year. 1 year since the accident that had stolen him. 1 year of a silence that echoed louder than any sound. Michael, her rock, her laughter, her everything. Their love story had been a whirlwind, a passionate romance that led to a blissful marriage, cut tragically short, or so she had believed. She'd arrive precisely at 10 a.m., placing the fresh flowers in the vase, tracing the engraved letters of his name, Michael Anthony Reed, with a trembling finger. She'd sit on the small stone bench, sometimes for minutes, sometimes for hours, recounting her week, sharing her quiet joys and her profound sorrows. It was her ritual, her solace, the only place where she felt a fragile connection to the man she had loved so fiercely. The other mourners, the groundskeepers, they all knew her, the woman in black, forever tethered to Plot 14B. This particular Saturday, a crisp autumn chill was in the air, carrying the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. Eleanor pulled her wool coat tighter, her breath misting in front of her. She had a new promotion at work, a small victory she was eager to share with Michael, even if only in her mind. As she knelt, arranging the lilies, a shadow fell over her. She assumed it was Mr. Henderson, the elderly groundskeeper, coming to offer a sympathetic nod. "Don't come here anymore." The voice was soft, yet it cut through the quiet reverence of the cemetery like a shard of glass. Eleanor froze, her hand hovering over Michael's name. It wasn't Mr. Henderson. The voice was female, unfamiliar. Slowly, she turned her head, her heart beginning to thump an uneasy rhythm against her ribs. A woman stood behind her, perhaps in her late 40s, with kind, tired eyes and streaks of silver in her dark hair. She was dressed simply, in a practical jacket and jeans, holding a single wilting rose. There was a profound sadness etched on her face, a grief that Eleanor recognized instantly, yet it was mixed with something else, a quiet determination, almost a plea. Eleanor slowly rose, a knot forming in her stomach. "Excuse me?" she managed, her voice barely a whisper. "Who are you?" The woman took a hesitant step closer, her gaze fixed on Michael's headstone, then on Eleanor. "You need to know that?" she began, her voice cracking slightly. She took a deep breath, gathering herself. "You need to know that he wasn't just your husband." Eleanor stared, bewildered. "What are you talking about? Of course he was my husband, Michael Anthony Reed. We were married for 5 wonderful years." A defensive edge crept into her tone. This woman was clearly mistaken, or worse, disturbed. A faint, bitter smile touched the woman's lips. 5 wonderful years for you, perhaps. For me, it was 10. And we were never divorced. The words hit Eleanor like a physical blow. The world tilted. The crisp air suddenly felt suffocating, the scent of lilies cloying. "What?" she gasped, clutching her coat. "That's impossible. Michael was never married before me. He told me everything. We had no secrets." The woman's eyes, though filled with sorrow, held a surprising steadiness. "My name is Sarah Reed, and I was Michael's wife, his first wife, his only legal wife." She gestured vaguely towards the rows of graves. "We were married a long time ago. He left me, just disappeared one day, no warning, no divorce papers, nothing." Eleanor felt a cold dread spread through her veins. Her mind raced, trying to reconcile this impossible claim with the man she knew, the man she mourned. Michael, who had been so open, so honest. Michael, who had shared every detail of his past, his childhood, his previous relationships, none of which included a wife named Sarah. "No," Eleanor whispered, shaking her head, tears blurring her vision. "You're lying. This is some cruel joke. Michael would never—" Sarah's gaze softened with a painful empathy. "I know it's hard to believe. I know what he was like. Charming, charismatic, so convincing. He was all those things to me too once." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a worn leather wallet. From it, she carefully extracted a faded photograph. It showed a younger Michael, undeniably him, standing beside a younger Sarah, both beaming, holding hands, in what looked like a wedding photo. Then, she produced a marriage certificate, yellowed with age, bearing Michael's full name and hers dated 10 years ago. Eleanor's hands trembled as she took the documents. The photo, the certificate, they were real. The signatures, the dates. It was Michael. Her Michael. But with another woman. A wife. A wife he had never divorced. Why are you telling me this now?" Eleanor choked out, the betrayal a bitter taste in her mouth. "Why didn't you do something when he was alive?" Sarah's eyes filled with a fresh wave of pain. "I tried. Believe me, I tried. When he first left, I was devastated. I searched for him for months. When I finally found him, years later, when I saw he had built a whole new life, with you." Her voice trailed off. "He threatened me, Eleanor. He said he would ruin my life, expose things about my family, hurt people I cared about if I ever came near you, if I ever breathed a word. He was a powerful man, and I was terrified. He made it clear he would stop at nothing to protect his new life, his perfect facade." Eleanor remembered Michael's intensity, his fierce protectiveness. She had always seen it as a strength, a sign of his unwavering love for her. Now she saw a darker side, a manipulative streak she had been blind to. The man she had loved, the man she had grieved, was a stranger, a liar, a bigamist, He threatened you?" Eleanor repeated, the words hollow. Her mind reeled. Every shared laugh, every intimate moment, every promise exchanged, all tainted, all built on a foundation of deceit. Her entire life with him was a lie. Sarah nodded, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. "He was very convincing, and I was broken. I just wanted to move on, to rebuild my own life in peace. But I couldn't let you keep coming here, living this lie. It wasn't fair to you, and it wasn't fair to me." She looked at the headstone, a profound sadness in her gaze. "He never truly belonged to either of us, did he? He just took what he wanted." The autumn wind whipped around them, rustling the dry leaves. Eleanor stood frozen, the marriage certificate still clutched in her hand, feeling utterly exposed and hollowed out. The grief she had carried for 2 years, a heavy, familiar cloak, had suddenly been ripped away, replaced by a searing, unfamiliar pain of betrayal. The man in the grave was not the man she had loved. He was a ghost, a deception, and his death had merely revealed the magnitude of his lies. She looked at Sarah, this woman who shared a similar wound, a similar history with the same elusive man. There was no anger towards Sarah, only a shared, profound sorrow. The lilies in the vase seemed to mock her, a symbol of a purity that never existed. I need to go," Eleanor whispered, her voice raw. She turned, walking away from the grave, away from the man who had stolen her truth, away from the woman who had returned it to her. The path back to her car felt endless, each step a crushing realization that the love she had cherished was nothing but a beautiful, devastating illusion. The cemetery, once her sanctuary, was now a monument to a lie. And she knew, with a chilling certainty, that she would never come back. The truth, however painful, had finally set her free from a grief that was never truly hers to bear.